Well, I really hope this is roughly pointing at my face. Normally I'd tuck it behind the... Oh, I could have put it in the thing and the... Shoot. Okay, well, assuming that you can see me, I just want to talk about today a case that I got. It's Monday, so we get new cases on Monday. And when we're putting accident reports into the computer, we see pretty much every accident that happens within the Chicago town limits, city limits. And so we get really, really bored because most of them are simple rear ends and side swipe hit and runs of a parked car. All these really boring incidents. And they're all bad. None of these are good things that are happening. They're all bad things that are happening, and yet we get bored with, at least I do, saying, oh, another rear end, wow, And so there's kind of this macabre hope, this hope that there's going to be something interesting. Even though interesting usually means larger injuries, And this last week when we were sorting through these police reports, we ran across a fatality. And of course I'm like, oh, finally something interesting, something actually happened. It was a partial rollover. And I've dealt with fatalities before, and I thought that I was inured to it. And then today we went and talked to the family, and it was really, really hard. I've had to deal with gray matter, brains and blood splattered on the inside of a car, and it could be anything. If you didn't know what it was, it could be somebody's fast food that got upturned, but dealing with the family is something completely different. So today we went to talk to the next of kin, which was the man's wife. So we pull up, and we're filling out forms, getting everything ready for the interview, so we're not having to do these things during the interview. And I see this lady. There were several people sitting on the porch, and one of them gets up and goes and puts something in the SUV that's sitting right in front of the house, and then walks over the sidewalk and walks back to us and looks at us. I was going, oh man, we better get out and talk to these people real quick, or we're going to look like creeps, and that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to jeopardize your position. And so we get out real quick. She says, can I help you? Yes, we're from the Department of Transportation. And it turns out that this was her father. She wasn't the wife, she was the daughter. And at first, of course she's really wary of who we are, but we give her a brochure and tell her, who we are and what's going on. And she actually began to open up to us a little bit, and started telling us about her dad. And that's the last thing I want people to do. I don't want to know who died, I just want to see the car that's banged up in a fun and interesting way. But unfortunately, that's not reality. That's not what happens. There is a person behind every fatality. There's a person behind every hospitalization. And so we talked to her, and she loved her father, and her father was the pillar of their family. Their father brought them together. Their father took them across the country to go celebrate birthdays of older relatives. And she starts telling me that just last month they were in Tennessee, and it was her father's aunt, so her great aunt. It was her like 96th birthday or something, and so they all went out to Tennessee to go celebrate her birthday. And then just last month, so that was a month before the accident. Last month was when the accident happened, and he was on his way to go celebrate his cousin's birthday. And the 2 days after that was I believe his wedding anniversary. And so all of these wonderful things, all this family coming together and celebrating each other, right in the middle of all this, he gets in this relatively freak accident and dies. And I wasn't getting broken up, but it's hard to remember that that there are people behind these. And I think the best thing I realized while I was doing this was that every single thing I do is working to prevent this in the future. That's what I do, is I work to prevent this. And it's somewhat of a comfort. I wish that nobody ever died in a car accident. I wish that nobody ever lost their life in a violent manner. I wish that nobody ever lost their life in an unexpected manner and left their loved ones behind. But at least I can, work in some small way. I can go in. I'm not engineering cars, but I am gathering the data that are out there. And, on the one hand, I feel like I'm helping contribute. On the other hand, I feel like I'm completely helpless, because by the time I get it, it's a month old. And then when we go and talk to the next of kin, they're asking us, so what the heck happened? The police didn't even know what happened, because, he's dead. And, it's the toughest part of the job. And, it's a lot harder than I really expected it to be. I mean, I knew that it was going to be hard dealing with death, but I didn't really think about it. So that's what we did today. Then we went and looked at the scene where it happened. And we're beginning to put together a couple of pieces. There's not a lot of evidence because it was a month ago. We got a little bit of evidence and we got something to work with. So now we just need to go take a look at the car and put this together and figure out just what happened and figure out how to make it not happen in the future. If it's something wrong with the car. Apparently this guy was a really safe driver, so it's just something that's really unfortunate, or it's something wrong with the car. I just, with what we have to go on, I believe it was just something really unfortunate. I don't think it was his fault. I don't think it was the car's fault, but hopefully we can collect some data that will be used to make the next generation of cars safer, so that the next time this does happen, family doesn't lose the pillar of their little family. Alright guys, I will talk to you later. Have a good one.